Hi everyone. Great. Are we all pumped for tonight? How exciting is this, hey? All right. How good is that? Okay. Welcome everyone to Ignite. AMP guests, Amplify sponsors, Ignite judges, and special welcome to our Ignite sponsor, Minter Ellison. Where's Minter Ellison? G'day, Minter Ellison. All right, we've got to do the housekeeping thing. The loos are there. I've just been to the boys. They need to spend a bit of money, actually. Right? I've just been to the boys, and the girls is next door, and it's probably not a bad idea if we turn our mobile phones to silent, if that's okay. Now, you might be wondering why I'm dressed as Obi-Wan Kenobi and why there's a Star Wars theme, and frankly, I'm wondering the same thing. However, Jess, where's Jess? Jess is very persuasive, very powerful, works for AMP, and she said, you're wearing that cape. So here I am wearing the cape. Also, let's bear in mind, it is the 40th anniversary of Star Wars, and we thought, well, why not have some fun? And in particular, we've got 20 PhD students who, of course, are going to be a bit nervous. So let's make them even more nervous and get them on stage with some of the most iconic Hollywood stars ever. Okay. This evening, we're going to be hearing from some of the brightest young minds in the land. We've got an incredible 20 PhD students here. Students participating from University of Sydney, the University of Melbourne, RMIT, Edith Cowan, the Australian National University, and we've got someone from across the Dutch, the University of Auckland, New Zealand. These students have been selected from over 200 applicants to participate in this program, so we of course think they're all pretty damn special. I was at AMP only last month, involved with the Ignite students in some mentoring workshops and getting them to think about how they can pitch what they're doing with a PhD as if they're at a barbecue, right? So very complex things boiled down to a simple proposition. Hard to do. All of us, of course, were very impressed by this year's cohort of Ignite students, by, of course, their intelligence, their ideas, their enthusiasm, the level of participation, the excellent calibre of the research. I'm sure all of you just can't wait to meet them. So let's get this evening's program started, right? All students participating in Ignite tonight will have the chance to win the grand prize of $5,000, courtesy of AMP and Minter Ellison. Round of applause for AMP Minter Ellison. And you, of course, our audience, will also get the opportunity to choose your favourite pitch with our People's Choice Award. Yeah? You would have received your People's Choice Award card. Hold on to it, write down your favourite pitch, and we're going to collect that at the end of the night. And the winner is going to be awarded $1,000 from AMP and Minter Ellison. All right, Stuart. Where's Stuart? All right, Stuart, you're up next, mate. Yeah, you're up next. Stuart's a partner of Minter Ellison. Please welcome him.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to be here tonight. It's the second time Minter's has sponsored this wonderful event. Congratulations again to the 20 PhD students for reaching the finals. It's extremely rewarding to see the calibre of talent that we have here in Australia, and I'm personally looking forward to seeing how our finalists incorporate this Star Wars theme. In 150 seconds time slots, our finalists are going to deploy their creative and exciting research, and we're about to hear some really intriguing topics. I've had a bit of a look-see, and there's iPads for mice and ants in solving world problems and all sorts of things, Tasmanian devil, so it's going to be a really good evening. No doubt the competition's going to be really tough, and I'm quite pleased not to be on the judging panel this evening. There's a lot of tough decisions to be made. My partner Luella Stone is up there as one of the judges, so good luck, Luella. Thank you to our MC, to Russell, and Russell's well known, I'm sure, to many of you here. A huge thank you, of course, to AMP for the opportunity to be part of such an innovative and inspiring event. this partnership has allowed our people to be part of something truly unique in Australia, I think. It allows us to work closely with AMP as a valued client, and this is something that's really important to AMP, so we're pleased to be part of it. So what a fantastic effort by all our finalists. I know I speak for all of us in saying how inspirational your dedication and drive is, and I hope that whatever happens, you'll look to pursue your ideas with passion and seeing your ideas come to fruition. And with that, I wish you all the best luck for tonight. So
good on you, Stuart. Great job, mate. Fantastic, Stuart, from Minter Ellison. Thank you very much for helping make tonight possible. Okay, time to get started. As Stuart said, all students have exactly 150 seconds to pitch. Exactly 150 seconds to pitch their research to you, to convince all of you here this evening, including our panel of esteemed judges, that their research could change the world, R2. It's time to introduce you to our judging panel. Okay, guys, you ready to wave or maybe stand up? Luella Stone, partner Minter Ellison. Luella. Zippy Avios, Director Technology and Innovations, AMP. Sarah Clemens, former Chief Operating Officer of Pandora. Sorry, hi Sarah. Good man. Dominic Price, Head of R&D and Work Futurist at Atlassian. I meant Atlassian. There you are with your T-shirt on and everything. At Atlassian. Apologies. Tonight our judging panel will be scoring students. Okay, listen to this everyone. Here's the detail. Tonight our judging panel will be scoring students out of a total of 20 points. Points will be awarded to students based on criteria such as creativity, preparedness, direction, clarity of their presentation, entertainment value, and most importantly, potential impact of their research to society. There are a few penalties to make the playing field fair for everyone. If students go over time with their pitch, they will hear the following bell sound. Judges are going to deduct 2 points if they hear that bell. For every 30 seconds that a student goes over time, the bell will sound again, and the student will lose an additional 4 points. Tough. Now, we've got a lot of students to hear from, so tonight's program is going to be broken up into three sets. There'll be a short break in between each set to give you time to grab a drink. There is even Star Wars themed cocktails up there, and we're going to play the Star Wars cocktail bar music as you drink your Star Wars cocktail. I know you're really keen to hear from our first group of students, but there's one more thing I've got to discuss with you. There is that people choice element. Don't forget, hold on to your people's choice because there's money in it for the students. All right, let's get started. Who's up first, Lord Vader?
Episode 1, Ignite the Force.
Okay, everyone. Are we ready for the first student? Is the clock ready? Is the bell ready? Please welcome our first student pitch of the night, Jess Tang, Junior Doctor and Second Year PhD student from the University of Melbourne and Centre of Eye Research Australia. Her topic, let's beat glaucoma.
Hi everyone. Before I start, I'd like you to pick up this card in front of you. For the people at the back, there are some on the bar table. Now that we're all ready, I'd like you to cover one eye and look through the centre of the card with the other. What you'll notice as you look straight ahead is that except for the very centre of you, everything else is a blur. This is tunnel vision. And 1 in 50 people in this room tonight, and that's roughly 5, are at risk of this view becoming permanent due to glaucoma. Glaucoma is a disease that slowly steals vision by destroying the optic nerve, the cable that connects the eye to the brain to process what you see. Now, once this view becomes blurred, it can't be recovered. Early treatment will stop the progression to blindness, but here's the problem. At the moment, the only way to tell if treatment is working is to wait 12 months to retest if this view has remained unchanged. Now, 12 months is a long time to wait for anything, and if treatment hasn't worked, you're at risk of this view closing in further. Unless there was some way we could directly measure if the nerve had responded. And this is exactly what I've been trying to solve over the last year. I'm researching this portable device called an electroretinogram, or ERG. Now, like cables, the nerve sends information using electrical signals, and this little device is able to pick it up. Using the ERG, I've been able to detect signal changes in patients as soon as 1 month after their treatment. The beauty of it is, because it's portable, we can now take this research to the 300,000 Australians currently suffering from glaucoma to keep a better eye on their disease. And this is really exciting. For the first time, we have a fast, easy, and reliable way of telling if treatment has worked. For the first time, we have a better chance at saving the optic nerve before this vision becomes a reality for anyone. And for the first time, we can improve the way we manage glaucoma so that every glaucoma sufferer will maintain a clear and full view of the world around them. So, let's beat glaucoma. Thank you.
Great stuff, Jess. Great visual design. R2, any thoughts? Well done. Thank you, R2. Congratulations, Jess. Great job. Okay, next up, we have a synthetic biologist and not quite mad scientist at the Institute of Molecular Bioscience at the University of Queensland. Next up, we have a gentleman who is a synthetic biologist and not quite mad scientist at the Institute of Molecular Bioscience at the University of Queensland. His topic is cyborg cells, the future of diagnostics. His name is Jake Parker.
This is my grandfather. He's getting to that point in life where he's taking more medications to treat the side effects of medications than he is for taking medications for the underlying conditions. And do you know what he complains about? The doctors, the hospitals, seeing a specialist for the second time that week to get more tests. Tests which are costing the system thousands of dollars. And this guy? Here's my friend Alex. When we were in high school together, he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And that requires him to test his bloods multiple times per day. But he leads a pretty normal life. So why is it that a condition with such a high requirement for testing actually has a pretty low cost, under $10 a day? Well, I'll tell you why. It's actually this. So Alex doesn't go to the doctor every time he needs to test his blood. He uses a glucometer, which costs a few dollars, and a little strip, which only costs a few cents. And at the core of this revolutionary sensor, at least for diabetics, is a protein. And that protein takes glucose directly from the blood and converts it into electricity, which we can measure. Now that is a pretty convenient protein. It's a perfect interface between the biological and the digital. Now, unfortunately, such convenient proteins aren't particularly plentiful. And that's where my research comes in. So my lab at the University of Queensland is working together with myself, I guess, my project, to engineer new proteins which are capable of doing the same thing. So we'll be able to do for others with different diseases exactly what has been done for my friend Alex. And this will create an interface between the digital and the biological that'll create a kind of a cell API, a programmable interface. And we'll be able to, together with drugs, maybe better control the biology, creating cyborg cells. And so my vision for the future of medical diagnostics is to decentralize it. It's to put the power of testing into the hands of the patients, remove the burden from doctors of routine work, and creating a new future with next-generation diagnostics. Thank you.
Juggy, Well done, mate. Who else had a stopwatch on that? Right on 150 seconds. Well done, Jake. All right, next we've got a PhD student in toxicology at the University of Technology, Sydney. Their topic, get this, everyone. Get this. The topic is ants, the solution to world hunger. Please welcome Samira Ali.
I want you all to imagine what the mother of these 2 children, Nadia, is thinking. Like every mother, she wants the best for her children. She wants to be able to feed her children. Death due to starvation is not uncommon in the developing world, with 1 in every 5 children at risk of dying from starvation. These kids are also at risk of dying from insect-transmitted diseases such as malaria and the Zika virus. My PhD looks at finding a way to solve both of these problems. One of the reasons for starvation is lack of sufficient food to feed our population. Insect pests destroy about 20% of all crops, and our current way of getting rid of these pests, synthetic insecticides, aren't working, either due to resistance or their effects on human health and the environment. So my PhD is looking at a way to try and find a new way of killing these insect pests. My solution? Venoms. In particular, ant venoms. So people usually think snakes and spiders, but I work on ants. So why do I work on ants? And no one else is working on them around the world, apart from my collaborator in France and myself. Also, ants predate on insects, which means there must be something in their venom that they use to kill the insects before they can eat it. So how do I do it? After I extract the venom from here, I inject it into other insects to see if it's insecticidal. If it is, that means there's a property in this venom that is killing those insects. So far, I have found that ant venoms are rich in insecticidal peptides, which are small proteins that they use to kill these insect pests. So now, mothers and Nadia will have less problems to feed their kids and also less worry to feed about insect-transmitted diseases. Thank you.
Congratulations, Samira. Ants, the solution to world hunger. R2? Well done. Okay. Next up, we've got a 3rd year PhD student at Southern Cross University. Our PhD student is harvesting. You're all going to love this one. Our student's going to harvest human energy so that you never run out of mobile phone power. Please welcome Iman.
No ring. Oh, sorry, she's my wife. I cannot take now, okay? What? What happened to you? Don't cry, okay? I will be there in 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. Just tell me exactly where you are. Hello? Hello? Oh, again, her mobile phone is dead. How many times it happened to you? You wanted to call someone, but your mobile phone was out of charge. Who's got one of these? Funny question, because in Australia, we have more mobile phones than people. And who's got the charger? Just maybe few of you. But you know, using this charging system, always there is a paradox. We need these mobile phones to take them around. And when we take them around, they are out of charge. We need to go somewhere and then charge them, so we cannot take them around. But tonight, there is a big difference between me and you all. I never charge my mobile phone because I have made this prototype in the lab. It can use my motion to power my phone. And it's That is exactly what I'm doing in my research, in my PhD. I'm working with piezoelectric materials and very complicated mechanical system to harvest energy from your motion, and it can power your phone. But it's a bit big, and I need to walk for 2 days to charge or power my mobile phone. So I need to optimize it. I need to downscale it. And to do that, I need more time, more research, and more money. I need your support to go to the higher level of this study. Hope no one will be in that position, in that situation again. Thank you.
Great job. Great job. Is it inappropriate to say that Iman was one of my guys? Probably is. All right. Now, we've got a final year PhD student at the Edith Cowan University. He's created an algorithm. It's already approved by the Australian Medical Association that will assist medical experts in helping women who are experiencing difficulty conceiving. The topic is a computer algorithm to accurately detect female cells of conceiving. Please welcome TM Sharia Sazad.
The other day, I was talking to my mom and told her my research is a computer algorithm to detect female conceiving cells accurately. Mom didn't understand. She gave me a bored and strange look like the way you all are giving to me. So I told Mom about my friend Shelly. Shelly, age 34, wants to conceive a baby, but facing conceiving problems. A possible solution for this problem is fertility treatment or IVF treatment. It is costly, but results are faulty. Even after medication, the success rate for age over 31 is low. Last year in Australia, the success rate was only 3 out of 10. Currently, no computerized algorithm available, so the alternate to IVF is manual microscopic test. It is too costly, but no guarantee. Reason? Faulty test reports. There are a lot more Shelleys around us, 39,000 in Australia, struggling to conceive a baby. Reasons? Faulty test report and high test cost. After all this information, Mom asked me, any solution? Accurate test report about the conceiving cells is the only solution for experts to provide proper medication to conceive a baby. Here is my research, a computer algorithm to detect female conceiving cells accurately. Medical Association already approved that this test is accurate. In compared to 6 months test, it is now in 4 hours. In compared to thousands of dollars test cost, it is now $500. So, female with conceiving problems will now be able to conceive a baby. Finally, Mom understood and said, well done. Now, if I win $5,000 tonight as a winner from judges, this money will be used for 10 Shelleys, including my friend Shelly, so that they can try this accurate test for free to conceive a baby. I bet Shelly will thank you.
Well done, TM. Oh. Well done, brother. Good job. Okay. Next, we've got a PhD student from the Kirby Institute at the University of New South Wales. Their topic is making the invisible visible. Please welcome Sophia Bartlett.
Who here has had a cold or the flu? Probably everyone, and it's not very fun, right? What if you knew the source of where you caught that infection from? Maybe you could stop yourself from ever getting infected again. Well, this is what my research aims to do, because rather than treating people, I aim to prevent them from ever getting infected. And not just from the cold or the flu, but from other viruses as well, like HIV/AIDS and hepatitis. The problem is that the current solutions we have to find the source of infections rely on infected people being able to name and locate all the people they had contact with when they got infected. And this is problematic because we all know people aren't perfect. We forget things, and sometimes we even lie. But viruses never lie. They're still sneaky though, and they can spread through populations invisibly. Luckily, I've found a way to make the invisible visible. I can do this because viruses like to play Chinese whispers. When a virus is transmitted from one person to another, it changes and evolves a little bit, just like a message in a game of Chinese whispers. And all these changes are recorded in the virus's DNA as markers. By studying these DNA markers with big data, I can retrace the pathway that the virus took as it spread through a population. And I've been studying the DNA markers in viruses from hundreds of infected people in Australia. And I've retraced the pathway this virus took when it spread through our population. And I started to notice something. There was groups of people who had transmitted the virus more than everyone else who was infected. And using a simulation like a video game, I was able to show that if we targeted treatment to the people I identified, we could reduce new cases of infection by 60%. This would save thousands of people from ever getting infected, saving hundreds of millions of dollars and helping to eliminate this disease, not just from Australia, but from the entire world. Excitingly, my findings are being tested here in Australia right now. And we're seeing promising results. And not only that, this is the only place in the world where it's being attempted. But even more excitingly, because all viruses like to play Chinese whispers, these findings could be used to prevent infections for many other catastrophic epidemics, like Zika virus, swine flu, and even Ebola. And as Benjamin Franklin once said, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Thank you.
Well done. Man, oh man. What did you think, R2? Amazing. Okay. We've got a postdoctoral research fellow from the University of Technology, Sydney, who's just completed her PhD from the Australian National University in nanotechnology. Her topic is just a puff of breath. Please welcome Nishin Nasari.
Cancer. Everybody is afraid of cancer these days. One of the leading causes of death in the world. In Australia, it kills more than 45,000 each year. And globally, more than 8 million deaths. But cancer itself is not a killer. It's late detection that takes lives. For example, lung cancer is usually detected very late, when the chance of recovery is less than 6%. But if we detect it at a very early stage, we might have 85% chance of recovery. So don't be afraid of cancer. Be afraid of its late detection. But early detection of disease is very tricky. Once it's detectable in the blood, it means that it's already spread everywhere in your body. We need to detect it before it goes into your blood. How? In my research, I'm doing this by looking at your breath. It might seem invisible, but your breath tells a story. And while that story can be put in RBT to put you in trouble, I can use it to save your life. You know, you smell differently when you are sick, although your nose is not strong enough to detect it. But in the same way that your dog can smell anger, stress, happiness, and pregnancy, I can detect a disease just by sniffing out your breath. As I'm not interested to use my own nose to analyze your breath, I'm developing these fingertip-sized sensors made by billions of nanoparticles, each of them the diameter of a few atoms, 1,000 times smaller than the tip of your hair. If you blow onto my sensor, it can detect the tiniest possibility of having a disease in your body. It's super cheap and small enough to fit in your phone and help you to check yourself every single day. My research into creating this technology will give you the power of early detection and will help you and save many other lives in the near future. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Noshin, fabulous. All right, everyone, please welcome back Jess Tang, Jake Parker, Samira Ali, Iman, of course, Iman, TM Sharia Sazad, and Sophia Bartlett. Congratulations. Well done, you guys. Let's cut to the cocktail music. We'll be back soon. Welcome back, everyone. Let's commence Ignite Episode 2. You ready, R2-D2? Hey, Darth, what's up next? Darth.
It's Episode 2. The Doctorate Strikes Back.
Okay, we've got 7 more amazing students coming up. We have, first up, a second-year PhD candidate in poultry nutrition at the University of Sydney. She is a self-confessed crazy bird lady. Please welcome Amy Moss.
I want you to remember the hungriest you have ever been. What did that feel like? Now imagine, on top of that hunger, you have no food and no prospect of being able to eat. To feed the global population in 2050, we have to produce a staggering 70% more food. Global hunger is an issue we can't afford to avoid any longer. So here I am, and I have the answer. Growing up, I had lots of birds as pets, and I developed an admiration for their pure efficiency. I came to the understanding that while they may be companions to me, they hold a greater purpose. Birds, specifically chickens, may be the key to feeding the world. Chickens are extremely efficient, thanks to years of breeding only the best. That's right, no hormones, and they're still improving. This is where I come in. My research focuses on improving the efficiency of the chicken's digestive tract by adding whole grains to the chicken's feed, just like the whole wheat that you'd find in your muesli. You see, chickens have this amazing muscular organ called a gizzard. It grinds the feed down that the chicken ate so that it can be digested properly. This bird here has been fed a standard diet with no whole grains. Its gizzard hasn't gotten much stimulation from its diet, and just like us when we don't work out, its gizzard has gotten flabby and lazy and totally unmotivated. So this bird isn't going to digest its feed very well. What a waste! But in this bird that has been fed whole grains, its gizzard has been getting a workout. And just like us, when you work out, you get more muscle, more energy, and you get shit done. Just like this, when this bird eats this whole grain here, its gizzard gets more muscle and now has the power to grind the feed down very, very, very fine. In fact, it pulverizes the feed. This improves the chicken's digestive tract and increases the amount of meat each chicken will produce. If my research was adopted globally, it would produce enough extra chicken to feed 114 million more people. That's 5 times the population of Australia. And with your vote, I can take the final step in my research towards my mission of ending global hunger. Thank you.
Well done, Amy. She made me right here, self-confessed crazy bird lady. Okay. Next, we've got a stem cell appassionato, a final year PhD student in genetics. You're trying to get on stage there too. A final year PhD student in genetics at La Trobe University for molecular science. And La Trobe, of course, is in Melbourne town. The topic is hunting down a serial killer. Please welcome Ismail Aguirre McLennan.
Thank you. Nature is a very accomplished serial killer. It is trying to kill every one of you. But your immune system always fights back. And nature just keeps perfecting its ways. We all know how terrible cancer is. But imagine if it could spread between each one of us. The facial tumor disease affecting Tasmanian devils may be nature's most efficient weapon yet. It's a deadly disease, wiping out nearly 80% of devils. But it's also transmissible, because it's found a way to escape the immune attack. If we don't do something about this, it will be the end for the Tasmanian devil, and the Tasmanian landscape will be changed forever. But my friends, don't panic, because I'm a scientist, but I'm also a detective. I collect evidence to solve crimes. And like most serial killers, nature just wants to get caught. My investigations have led me to develop a powerful tool that we can use to stop the killer in its tracks. This tool is a stem cell. Think of Peter Pan, a cell that doesn't want to grow up, but when it does, it has the potential to become anything. For example, cells from the heart that can be used to make the heart itself. So I made a stem cell from the Tasmanian devil. I do this by getting a tiny piece of their skin, growing in the lab, add lots of different ingredients, and depending on what I add, this cell will behave like a stem cell. Now that I have these stem cells, I want to find out what makes devils susceptible to the disease. And by doing so, I also hope to uncover unknown mechanisms of cancer transmission that could be applicable to humans. Because understanding transmissible cancer is understanding cancer itself, the way it spreads between individuals, the way it spreads between cells. So right now, nature is on a killing spree. And if the killer succeeds, I would like to think that the disease will die with the devils. But if it doesn't, who will be the next victim? So come and join me, and let's stop the killer before he strikes again. Thank you.
A great job. Great job, Ismail. Fantastic. How good is this Amplify event? Seriously, it's amazing. All right, so next up, we've got a third-year student from the University of Melbourne working to improve maternal health in the transnational obstetrics group. Her topic is ectopic pregnancies, wrong place, wrong time. Please welcome Roxanne Hasty.
This is Abena. She's from a small rural community in Ghana in West Africa. Her and her husband have recently discovered that she is pregnant with their first child. About 9 weeks into her pregnancy, Abena starts to feel a sharp and distinct pain in her stomach. At first, she brushes it away, knowing that her closest medical clinic is a long 4-hour walk away. But over the next week, the pain begins to increase, and Abena feels that there is something terribly wrong. She decides to make the journey to her medical clinic, and it is there that they inform her that she has an ectopic pregnancy, which means, for reasons that we still do not fully understand, her pregnancy has implanted outside of her womb. Unfortunately, this is not a viable pregnancy, and it is in fact life-threatening to Abena, as it can rupture and cause fatal internal bleeding. Abena is now not only faced with the sadness of losing her pregnancy, but she will have to have immediate and life-saving surgery in order to remove the ectopic pregnancy. And with it, surgeons will most likely have to remove her fallopian tube. This will mean having another pregnancy for her and her husband will be much more difficult. Unfortunately, Abina's story is not unique. Ectopic pregnancy is the leading cause of maternal death in early pregnancy. Not only in developing nations like Ghana, but right here at home in Australia and the rest of the industrialised world. But we have the ability to change Abina's story and the story of all other women who are diagnosed with ectopic pregnancy. I have discovered with this one single tablet, we hold the promise to treating ectopic pregnancy and eradicating the need for surgery for this complication. This work has proved extremely successful in the laboratory and now only needs to be tested in a human clinical trial. If we are successful, it means that Abina and all other women like her can take one single tablet at the time of diagnosis, never face the seriousness of surgery, can get back to their lives sooner, and go on to have future successful pregnancies as their fertility will not be affected. It is my hope that with this tablet, we will change what is possible and save and improve the lives of women across the globe. Thank you.
Hello. Wow. Roxanne, great job. Great. R2? Yep, I agree. Great job. Okay, next we've got an entrepreneur, a health footwear specialist, also known as a pedorthist, a PhD candidate at Southern Cross University, who's going to reimagine your shoes. The topic for the next pitch is, don't underestimate the function. It's about more than just the fashion. Saeed Ahmed.
Can I get everyone to stand up, please? Stand up, please. Now, can you do a rock back and forth for me, please? It's fun and easy, right? Now, can you please stand on feet? Not so fun anymore, right? Now, imagine you have only one functional feet or there is no feet at all. It sounds just scary, right? Sadly, these are the daily experiences of millions of people around the world as a consequence of disease, injury, or overuse. Now, please sit down. Many diseases like diabetes, arthritis, paralysis, stroke, and to name few, can affect the foot function, comfort, and stability. In every 20 seconds, a limb is lost somewhere around the world due to diabetic foot complications. That means about 8 feet limb are lost by the time I speak to you. More than 15% Australians and over 350 million people around the world suffer from arthritis. Many forms of the arthritis affect the feet and mobility. All these factors that affect the feet can lead to short-term or long-term disability. All sounds scary, right? But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is a solution. What do you think the solution could be? Is that an innovative drug? An innovative medical therapy? No, it's not. It's quite simple. It is something we all wear every day. It is a shoe. The shoe does the magic when it is personalized for each individual foot. Evidence shows that in diabetic population, more than 85% of the amputation can be prevented if a personalized shoe therapy is applied, and also saves billions of dollars in healthcare cost. My research exploring further on the personalization parameters of the magic shoe that will help you to keep your best foot forward. Thank you.
Thanks, Saeed. You'll have to do 3 for R2, I'm afraid. All right, so next up we've got a PhD candidate from the National Imaging Facility and the Vascular Bionics Group, the University of Melbourne. The topic is brain coaching for a brain-controlled future. Please welcome Peter Yu.
We see it on the big screen. It ideates the future. I'm talking about a technology that connects the brain to a computer. With this brain-computer interface, or BCI, our heroes move things with a thought in mind, and the end of its potential seems hard to find. But what if I told you that future and the now is actually in juxtaposition? And the line is blurred between fiction and innovation. Would you believe me? I first saw a glimpse of its potential in this video. This is Jan, and Jan has been paralyzed from the neck down for over a decade, yet here she is, controlling a robotic arm just by thinking with BCI. This video made me realize the tremendous potential of this technology. It can make the blind see, the mute talk, the paralyzed walk. It can move things with a simple power of thought. But then I also began to realize all the risks and the surgeries that preceded. Then it made me realize it is integral to ensure that the benefits outweigh the risks. Otherwise, this amazing technology will forever remain in the abyss. But the question is how? Using the latest MRI technology, I'm making a tool that can peer into your brain and see which parts light up when you think. But not only that, I can train you to gain control over these parts of the brain, all without a single nick. This could identify, or better yet, make people into suitable BCI candidates, all before surgery. This could facilitate the development of cutting-edge technologies that could one day turn disabilities into abilities, like the one that's being developed in our lab. Now is truly the golden age to nurture the race that is brain-computer interface, with the giants of a time such as Elon Musk and Brian Johnson and Mark Zuckerberg jumping into the race recently. And with your help, we just might welcome the edge of the possible into reality. Thanks.
Well done, Pete. Great job, Peter. You R2, what did you think? Good man. Okay, next up we've got a PhD candidate. Yeah. It was good, yeah? Next, we've got a PhD candidate in the field of chemical engineering at the University of New South Wales. The topic is faking photosynthesis, making alcohol to save the world. Please welcome Dayan Rahman.
Hi, I made this alcohol in the lab. Don't tell my supervisors, I'm not really supposed to be mixing science with my favorite hobby. But here we are. I actually do this to save the world. My research is in the field of fake photosynthesis. Now, you might recall learning about photosynthesis from your science classes. You know how plants convert carbon dioxide and sunlight into oxygen, powering the world. Well, similarly, I make metal catalysts, which are kind of like your metal leaves. And by using that, we can convert that CO2 to fuels such as this ethanol that you can put in your car when you're driving. Now, this carbon dioxide is a problem. This is causing global climate change. And you can see its effect in Australia when you take a dip at the Great Barrier Reef and you see all the corals dying. Climate change also leads to rising sea level, which is flooding many regions of the world, displacing many people to higher grounds. I myself am one such climate change refugee, having lost my ancestral home to the sea when I was 5 years old. Motivated, determined, my research actually tries to work on this carbon dioxide to convert into sustainable fuel. So in my research, we pass this carbon dioxide through seawater that you can easily source. And then we dip our cheap metal leaves into the solution. And we apply electricity that we source from solar panels, renewable energy. By doing this, we actually convert the carbon dioxide to the fuel. Now, it all sounds magical, but how exactly are we faking this photosynthesis? Well, you cannot simply just pop up to Bunnings and buy any metal off the shelf and use it for my system. Even if your average copper pipe would do the trick, you would create a crazy cocktail of chemicals that would be really hard to separate. So what we do in my research is we make copper nanowires, which are kind of like your hair, except 10,000 times thinner. And by doing that, we can selectively make ethanol. So what does this mean in the grand scheme of things? Well, it means that now you have a potential system you can put up in a power plant or in a chemical plant and reuse that very carbon dioxide from going in the atmosphere. It gets even better. You can scale the system down and put it in your car. So every time you're driving back home after work, you're brewing alcohol at the end, and your car runs on that. Now, it's amazing what you can learn from nature. Now, I might have lost one home to climate change, but with our Australian solution, you and I, we can ensure nobody else has to suffer the same. So cheers to that.
Hey. Well done, Dayan. Andrew Denton's doppelganger, did you think, as well? All right, Amy Shepherd is a PhD student in neuroscience at the University of Melbourne, but originally from Wellington, New Zealand. Her topic, how touchpads for mice may lead to the cure for Alzheimer's disease. A few of us want to know about that. Amy Shepherd.
Please close your eyes. Imagine walking into the room of a loved one, your mother, your grandfather, your best friend. Now imagine that as they turn to you, it's obvious that they don't recognize or remember you. How does that make you feel? Heartbroken? Crushed? Open your eyes. That is the reality of Alzheimer's disease. The slow robbery of someone's memories, what makes them truly them. All other people who love them the most are slowly forgotten. There are over 50 million people living with Alzheimer's disease today, over double Australia's population, with a new person being diagnosed every 3 seconds. My grandmother is one of those people, so I know the devastation of this disease firsthand. So with this huge problem, why don't we have any effective treatments like we do for cancer or cardiovascular disease? It's sure not for the lack of trying. Over 300 drugs that have been able to treat Alzheimer's mice have failed to treat people in clinical trials. And part of the reason for this may be the way that we've traditionally looked at learning and memory in mice is fundamentally different to how we've looked at it in humans. And that discrepancy could explain why these drugs have failed. My research addresses this by teaching mice to use touchpads just like human patients would. The mouse will run up to the screen and touch it with its wee nose, and if it gets a correct answer, it gets a shot of strawberry milk. Using this technique, we can train mice to do all sorts of tasks that are similar or exactly the same as the ones that we give human patients, and not just learning and memory, but attention and problem solving that are also affected in Alzheimer's disease. The touchpads give us the tools we need to test our mice in a human, disease-relevant way, and then see if a potential therapeutic can treat all of the symptoms we see. I believe this will make drug development faster, less stressful for the animals involved, and more efficient. Furthermore, this technique is not limited to Alzheimer's disease. We can screen drugs for any disease that affects cognition, like schizophrenia, that affects 1 in 100 people. Help me accelerate drug development for Alzheimer's and other crippling brain diseases so I can prevent the crushing feeling of being forgotten by the one you love the most.
Well done, Amy. Bang on time. Stay there, Amy. Please welcome back Dayan. Come on, keep the applause going. Peter, Sayed, Roxanne, Ismail, and Amy Moss. Congratulations, everyone. Okay. Congratulations, you guys. Yeah, great stuff, eh? Right, before we go to our Star Wars cocktail break, I'd like to invite up Alan Crabb. Alan is the CEO of Possible. Come on up, Alan. He's going to tell us all about his Ignite participation and how you can support crowdfunding events. Over to you.
Thanks, everyone. So, as you've all seen, we've shared the stage with probably some of the best talent I think the country has at the moment in terms of research students. And not only have we asked these guys to pitch to an audience, potentially even for the first time to you guys, we've also asked these guys to put a pitch to the world And this is a pitch that launches tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. This is the only prop that I need to tell you guys about, and that's to check out this page, check out the link behind me, and visit this tomorrow morning. It's very important. I can't stress how important it is to actually support these guys as early as you can to get the early momentum for a campaign. The early supporters of a campaign builds the momentum, and hopefully that momentum will actually take these projects onto the global stage. So can I just ask everyone to make sure that you keep this link and keep this page. And if you like any of the projects that you've heard or any of them resonate with you tonight, for any reason, whether you might even just like the look of one of these guys, take any excuse at all, go onto the page tomorrow, read more about actually these projects, and support them early if you can.
Great
That's
job. Well done, Alan. Well done, you guys. And obviously, if you get onto Possible website and support one of the students, then you might use your own social media to populate the idea. Thanks, everyone. We'll be back in 5. Hey, listen, everyone. A round of applause for our PhD students thus far. Amazing. And how are you judges getting on? All right? You sure? It's quite full on. All right, welcome back, everyone. Let's commence episode 3. Lord Vader, what's up next?
Sorry, Obi-Wan. I was getting muddled up before. This episode is episode 3. Doctorates Strike Back.
Thank Darth. What an awesome job. Well done, mate. Now, our first student in episode 3 is currently a PhD student at the University of Sydney. Her topic is building skin, an elastic approach to aging and tissue regeneration. Please welcome Pearl Lee.
So I started dancing when I was really young, and I honestly couldn't imagine life without it. Imagine life without the freedom to move as you wish. So before I start, could everyone first give me your biggest smile? All right, was that easy for you? Well, we take for granted our ability to do basic movements like smiling. But some patients who have suffered from severe burns actually can't do what you just did. Some burns patients suffer from severe scarring in their skin, and these scars don't just affect their physical appearance, they also limit their every movement, including very basic movements. This is because scars lack elastin, which is a protein in our skin. So think of my hair tie as elastin. It allows skin to stretch and recoil back to its original form. In adults, once elastin is damaged, it doesn't heal properly, which is why scars are so stiff. So 200,000 people suffer from a range of burns in Australia every year. And surprisingly, there has not been much funding or research into elastin. But so far, our lab has introduced elastin into wounded skin, which has helped the resulting skin heal better. So we know our technology works. My PhD aims to understand exactly how it works by looking at how human cells interact with elastin to heal wounds. With this knowledge, we would be able to develop advanced technologies that allow the full recovery of skin. Just imagine life without scars in a world full of smiles. I'm fortunate in life to be able to match my passion in movement with my work in the study of elastin. And with your support, we would be able to understand how elastin is working in our bodies to rebuild skin. Let's create a future with no constraints for burns patients. A future where everyone can experience the freedom of movement. Thank you.
Well done, Pearl. Good stuff, Pearl. Yes, R2, happy with that one? Thanks, mate. All right, next up, we've got a trained aerospace engineer doing a PhD in neuroscience in the School of Physics. Okay, everyone. Okay, come on. We've got a trained aerospace engineer doing a PhD in neuroscience in the School of Physics at the University of Sydney. The topic is, I am more than equations. Yifan Gu.
I've seen many equations, but one of them is so belief-shaking that it has changed the course of my life from rocket science to neuroscience, and led me here tonight. The simple equation, discovered in 1952, can well describe the behaviors of a neuron, the building block of our brain. I mean, what? Does this mean that all my passions, my eureka moments, my precious memory of the sweet sadness of my first kiss, my very experience of consciousness are nothing more than a few simple equations? No, I do not believe this. I'm not alone in my disbelief. And we call the missing piece emergence. A Lego brick is simple. But if you have 1,000 of them, you can build a Bavaria castle, which is so much more than simple Lego bricks. It is from the connections and collaborations among the Lego bricks that the castle emerges. And this is also how intelligence emerges from simple neurons. But the human brain has 100 billion of them. To study emergence, we need a smaller brain to begin with. Look at a baby zebrafish, only 7 days after birth, can catch its food with astonishing precision and agility. Guess how many neurons in the fish brain? 80,000. 80,000 Lego bricks can be easily fit into your fridge. However, to map out all the connections in a tiny little fish brain may still take decades. But we don't have to. We can already test out different design principles of the tiny little fish brain in computer simulations because we have the equations, remember? With my software, 80,000 neurons can be connected as you want and brought to life even on a laptop. And I want to invite everyone to join us on this remarkable journey of discovery by creating an online platform where scientists and non-scientists can collaborate on the Lego of intelligence. Who says Lego mass builders have to be professional scientists? Help me to build this platform by voting for me. I believe from the connections and collaborations among us, the true understanding of our very own intelligence may one day emerge. Thank you.
Wow. C-3PO, I'm wondering what you think of that one, mate. Here we go. Thank you. Okay, right. Next up. Okay, everyone. Come on. Hello, hello, hello. Next up, we've got a gentleman from the University of New South Wales. His topic is a touching experience, restoring sensation to paralysed people. Please welcome Alistair Lutti.
Everyone, could you please raise a glass for me? Now, what if I told you that if it wasn't for your sense of touch, you wouldn't even be able to look at me without having your arm drift away, without you even noticing, or even dropping the glass? You see, your sense of touch lets you know how firmly you're gripping the glass, and a sense known as proprioception tells us where our body parts are in space. You can test out these skills by putting the glasses down again while looking at me. You never even think about how easy that is for you, and yet that simple task can be degradingly difficult for someone living with a severe spinal cord injury. The weird thing about spinal cord injury is that the body is still intact, just like you and I, but like a bridge with the middle taken out. The traffic can drive up to the point of damage, but it can't cross, stopping brain and body from communicating with each other. There's been a lot of work to try and restore movement to these patients by sending electrical signals from brain to body, but not enough is being done to restore feeling, leaving these patients incapable of even feeding themselves normally. The aim of my work is to teleport that traffic from body to brain, skipping the site of damage to restore feeling. To do this, we've been matching real sensory experiences to the unique electrical signal patterns that they produce in the brain. Now, we are poised to take a huge leap forward in this work. But to do so, I have a very practical ask of you. We need a new type of electrode, specialized for stimulating the brain, which is different from the ones we've been using to record signals so far. With just $5,000, we could buy this electrode and use it to stimulate the brain with the electrical signals that we've already decoded, tricking the brain into perceiving real sensations. From there, we can work towards the point where we could implement this technology in people, reconnecting them with our beautiful sensory world and allowing them to move normally again. So the next time you pick up a glass, think of those people and imagine the world of touching experiences that together we could open to them. Thank you.
Hello. Good work, Alistair. Like that. Like that. Well done, Alistair. Okay, next up, we've got a second-year PhD student from RMIT Uni working on low-power device for predicting seizure. The topic of the next pitch is a hat for seizure prediction. Please welcome Nan Trong.
Hello, everyone. I had a beer, but I'm still trembling as hell right now. But there's one thing I would like to tell you first. I have been told that I'm going to have a seizure in the next 5 minutes. Thanks to this cat. So epilepsy affects nearly 240,000 Australians. And the people with epilepsy, they have to refrain from many daily activities like driving, swimming, or even climbing a staircase. Those activities are just dangerous for them because they have no idea when the next seizure will occur. They have no idea. So tonight, I would like to talk about a solution that can help them to have a more manageable life. So we are developing a device will look like the cap. That will be a hat version for female, obviously. So when we put the cap on, it will be able to monitor your brain activities and give you a warning message when there is an incoming seizure. So you have enough time to do some precaution for your safety. So with this hat, the cap, people with epilepsy can now drive. So all they need to do is put the cap on and drive. So when they receive a warning signal, they just pull over, relax, and wait until the seizure has gone. That's simple, safe and sound. And I would need your support so I can make this device become real, so it can benefit 100,000 Australians with epilepsy out there, and many more around the world. Thank you.
Yep. Hey, good one. Well done, Nan. Yes, I agree. Righto, next we've got a PhD candidate in aerospace engineering. Okay, everyone. Next, we've got a PhD candidate in aerospace engineering and aviation at RMIT University. The topic is using sound to see. Please welcome Rohan Kapoor.
I would request everyone to close their eyes. Imagine you're at an intersection trying to cross the road with your eyes closed. You can open your eyes now. I'm sure most of you would have hesitated in crossing the road with your eyes closed. That's fine. But the pedestrian crossing sound and the direction to which it points are the only cues visually impaired have as they try to cross the road. My research co-supervisor, Ron, who unfortunately is visually impaired, tells me not all pedestrian crossing sounds function properly. Let's rewind a little. While I was working in the US, I started building drones as a hobby. In the process of making a career out of my hobby, I ended up at RMIT last year to pursue a PhD. In our research, we put a variety of sensors on drones, including ones that rely on sounds that are not audible to humans, to make sure that drones do not collide with buildings. As we are tackling the technological challenges, we're fully aware of the bureaucratic hurdles, as well as the societal acceptance of technology, which can take its own course of time. While we were contemplating how our research could make a direct impact on society sooner rather than later, we bumped into Ron. Not literally, though. Thankfully, Ron's cane is good enough to prevent that from happening. But he keeps telling me how his cane is not good enough to make sure that he does not hit the tree branches as he's walking down the road. That made us think, why not use the same technology we deploy on drones to come up with a wearable device that can make sure that the wearer of the vision does not collide with the obstacle. This device is like a spectacles for the blind. This device is equipped with ultrasonic sensors, which work like a parking assist in a car, increasing the warning intensity as the obstacle gets closer. With your kind support, we'll work on delivering a commercially viable product that would not only improve the lives of 350,000 visually impaired Australians, but numerous others throughout the world. I'm sure most of us can wait to have our pizzas delivered by drones, but the visually impaired cannot deserve to wait anymore to lead a better life. Thank you.
Good work. Well done, mate. Okay, so our next and final pitch is Ankita Ganotra. Now, Ankita's going to take a little while to get set up. So talk amongst yourselves as Ankita gets set up. We're also going to ask R2-D2 to give us a display of his skills. Oh, that's amazing. Now, it might interest you all that R2 has actually appeared in Star Wars movies. A couple? Yeah, so this is actually the real deal. And you would have noticed that, see how dirty he is? That's paint. All right, yeah. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Ankita. Ankita's studying the science of small things. She's studying nanotechnology. Ankita is here from the University of Auckland. This is our New Zealand friend. Welcome her, everyone. Ankita's going to tell us about how some tiny particles in your body might have a big story to tell. Ankita was the Ignite winner in New Zealand in 2016. She's also competing as our wildcard student tonight. Yeah, wildcard student tonight. Oh yeah, big pressure. Now, Ankita's topic, relax Ankita, you're good. Yeah, her topic is size does matter. The smaller, the better. Please welcome Ankita.
So I was at home the other day, and my mother was, as usual, quizzing me about my life. But this time, I think she got a bit more than she'd bargained for, because I started to tell her about my PhD. I told her that some disease, like cancer, sickle cell disease, and malaria, can cause the mechanical properties of the cells in our body to change, making them stiffer or softer. But I told her there are parts of our body much smaller than cells known as exosomes, which are basically messenger-carrying units between cells. Scientists even believe that they might be how cancer spreads through the body now. But we don't know much about the physical or mechanical properties of these tiny particles, let alone how they're affected by a disease. It seems like the edge of the possible, but this is where my project with little turkey basters comes in. This piqued my tech-savvy mum's curiosity, so I tried to explain exactly what I do in the lab. What I do first is I take a glass tube and I shine a laser on it, heating it up and pulling it apart. Whoop, accidents happen in the lab. To make these tiny pipettes that look exactly like this turkey baster here, only 1,000,000 times smaller, literally. The problem with exosomes is that they're really small. And because they're on the nanoscale, we can't see them. But my little turkey baster that looks like this closer up is also on the same scale. So what I can do is I can put it on a little remote control car, and I can drive it around and find these little particles. Then what I can do is I can use a vacuum cleaner in the lab, it's actually a machine, to apply pressure and try and suck up these particles. If it doesn't get sucked up, it's stiff. But if it does, it's squishy. And this way, I'm trying to study some of the smallest parts of our body to see how disease can spread and affect the body. Thank you very much.
Well done, Ankita. Thank you. All right, everyone, let's please welcome Pearl back on stage, Yifan back on stage, Alistair back on stage, Nan back on stage, Rowan, and of course, Ankita remain on stage. Please, everyone. Congratulations, everyone. Fantastic, fabulous job. Now, that's it, but don't forget, hey, everyone, don't forget we need your help in deciding, hello, ding, ding, ding. We need your help in deciding People's Choice winner, who's going to win the $1,000 thanks to AMP and Minter Ellison. In a few minutes' time, the Amplify team will be around to collect your People's Choice vouchers. You got those at the door, remember? So get ready for that. Write down the name of your favourite student on these cards and have them ready for collection. All the winners are going to be announced tonight. We're going to have a break now. Thank our students, and we're going to be back with the winners. Well done.
The force is strong with this one. Please take your seats for episode 4, the closing chapter. May the force be with you. We'll shortly announce tonight's winner.
Please be quiet.
Okay, everyone, are we ready to hear the winner? Fantastic. Okay, so welcome back. Now, R2, you happy with tonight's proceedings? Well done, mate. Okay, so I think we should just start applauding now. We want to thank Jess, Jake, Samira, Iman, TM, Sophia, Nashin, Amy, Ismail, Roxanne, Syed, Pete, Raman, Amy, Pearl, Yafan, Alistair, Nan, Rowan, and Ankita. Well done, everyone. Amazing. Okay, now these judges have had a pretty difficult decision. So I want you to thank Zippy from AMP, Luella from Minter Ellison, Sarah from Pandora, and Dominic from Atlassian. All right, but before we do that, before we have the big winner, we've got to do the People's Choice Award. Is everyone ready for the People's Choice Award? Oh my God, it's so exciting. Where's Stuart Johnson from Minter Ellison? Come on up, Stuart, let's go.
I'm pleased to announce the People's Choice Award, Sophia Bartlett.
Oh, Sophia. Come on down. Where is Sophia? Great job, Sophia. Well done, Sophia. Congratulations, Sophia. Why don't you go over here next door to C3PO? Okay. Okay, Ignite. It's true, isn't it? Ignite is one of the best love events of the AMP Amplify calendar. It really is amazing. The crew, the AMP crew, they really do a sensational job. I've got to tell all of you, it's so well managed. They look after everyone so exceptionally well, don't they, right? They just do a sensational job. Now, shut up. Craig Ryman is the CIO of AMP. Please make him very welcome.
Thank you, thank you. To continue the thank yous, I think we need to put our hands together for Russell Howcroft. Isn't he an absolute pro? Please thank him. Thank you so much. And a great sport as well. Thanks, Russell. Secondly, I think we should have a big round of applause for the Ignite students. One of the things they've done a great job tonight is not only have they got some great ideas, have they pitched some in such wonderful and great fashion, but they've done a great job in making us all feel completely inadequate as well. So a big round of applause for them. Lastly, as the executive sponsor of Amplify, I did want to call out our sponsors for tonight, which are Minter Ellison. Without their support, Amplify couldn't run events like this. They couldn't support the students. It's a really important part of the festival to have our sponsors work collaboratively with us. On behalf of AMP and on behalf of the festival, I wanted to have a big call out to you, Minters. Well done. Thank you. As Russell said, this is one of the most looked forward to events in Amplify, and I think just the fun and the atmosphere is something that just brings energy to the room. The other thing that resonated with me today, it was one of the speakers late in the day. He spoke about research and development and the importance of that in our community, and he was quite disruptive in his speech. And one of the things he said was, we have the most incredible technology available to us now to solve the biggest problems in the world, but unfortunately, in the R&D equation, we're doing lots of development, lots of incrementalism, leading to business cases and commercialisation, not enough to the big ideas and the research. And I think tonight gives me hope that the researchers of tomorrow, coming up with the big ideas to solve the big problems, are here in front of us. We need to do everything we can to support them. And so not only is it a much anticipated event, I think it's a really important event in the Amplify calendar. And so with that, the grand prize tonight's $5,000 for the winner. And in addition to that, we're going to give $1,000 as a Kickstarter on the crowdfunding platform Possible for each of the students that have presented tonight to help them with their studies. And so I hear the best time to continue the donations is after a few wines or beers. So I think when you get home, log in and continue to be generous. It will go towards their research. It's a really important crowdfunding event, and I'd urge you to support them. And now just to give us a bit of insight as to how the judges took to their task tonight, I'd like to invite Luella Stone from Minters to come and give us a bit of an overview of how that went.
Thank you. Wow, what an amazing night. That was very, very hard judging. And I just wanted to say thank you to my esteemed judges up there. Amazing people, all of them. So it was a pleasure to be in your company. But our contestants this evening amazed all of us. And let me tell you, there was some heated discussion going on up there at the judges' table. We were tallying up scores. We were discussing heatedly with each other about who should be, you know, the winner of tonight's performance. We added up all the scores. We're using our iPhones for that. I'm sure there's some great technology that can be developed. You can probably hear I've got a bit of a cold, so I definitely need that cold tracker, device that we talked about today. So there's some practical application coming. But in the end, we all agreed on the winner of this evening, which is La La Land. No, I'm just kidding. We got it right this time. So it is in this envelope, which I'm going to hand over to you to open and announce the winner.
Great, thank you. It's my pleasure to announce the winner tonight of the Ignite PhD Pitch Fest to Nushin Nasiri. Congratulations.
Wow, thanks a lot. I mean, that's really, really amazing. And I want to thank my supervisor. He's sitting there, and he's a very supportive guy. No matter what to do, no matter what events you go, he has 40 people in his group, and then he travels everywhere in the country to support his students and his member. I want to really, really thank him. He came today here, and then he just kind of supports me every second. So my dream is to commercialize this device, which actually we test the device for like 2 different types of disease, because in our laboratory we just work on 2 different types of disease, diabetes and lung cancer. But I know that people already find 17 diseases that you can detect it in human breath. And then, so my dream is to commercialize this one and then give it to the market, and then people can go and buy the device from drugstore and then connect it to their phone and then check their health every day, and then we can like have very high chance of being recovered instead of like being afraid of these type of cancers or other diseases. And one more thing, I can't see my mentor because it's very light. She's sitting there. Her name is CJ. She was the best mentor ever. I sent her an email 11 p.m. and she replied me in 10 minutes. So she's the best one. She even came to my university to have a kind of conversation in person. And then I received all the support that I wanted before being prepared for this event. So thank you, thanks a lot. I can't see you, I still can't see you, but yeah, thanks a lot. And yeah, thank you. Oh, great, thanks a lot.
Here's your trophy.
Cheers.
Thank you. Well done, Nashim. Well done.
Okay, that's it. Congratulations. Congratulations, Nashim. Thanks, Craig. Well done. Congratulations. And you know, the amazing... I was just thinking it's amazing, isn't it? Because that technology, it's sponsorable as well. Mentos, Fisherman's Friend. Oh my God, how good. Okay, everyone, don't forget to get online to Pozible, P-O-Z, Pozible. Don't forget to get online and sponsor, support each of our awesome PhD students. We got one more gentleman to speak. It's my mate Ruben from AMP. Please welcome Ruben.
All right, good evening. Good evening. So of course, events like this are only possible if you show up. And thank you so much for showing up tonight, giving up your Tuesday night to enjoy with us this amazing event that's been put on with the collaboration and partnership of Minter Ellison. Thank you so much, Minters, for your support of this event. We really, really appreciate it. I'd like to acknowledge all the students that have participated this year in Ignite. And in our eyes, you're all winners. So thank you for your hard work. You've worked tirelessly behind the scenes to craft your pitches over many, many months. And you've done extraordinarily well. So thank you. And a big round of applause to all of our students. I'd like to say thank you to our judging panel for your work in this process and for giving up your evening this evening to help us out. So thank you so much. I'd like to recognize Yuan Sander. Yuan was our performance coach overall and helped to steer our students through this process. Yuan, thank you so much for your time, your commitment, your energy. And Yuan, of course, was ably assisted by CJ Darling, by Sally Evans, by Brenda Frith, and of course Darren Woolley and Russell Howcroft. So big round of applause to our coaches. Now we have explored this evening the edge of the possible, and this would not be possible without the hard work of Jess Chalker, who has led this event. Congratulations, Jess, you've done an incredible job. Thank you very much. Jess has been supported by Deanna, whose birthday it is today. Happy birthday, Deanna. And of course by Farah. Thank you, Farah. Finally, just to wrap this up, I'd like to thank our colleagues in TAG for their great work, our legal team, our guests, and we have a special guest for Russell as our Jedi-in-Chief. Thank you, Russell. You've done an amazing job.
Thank you very much, Ruben. I appreciate it. Thank you. And you need to thank R2-D2 and C-3PO.
Thank you, guys.
And their mates.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ruben.
It's a Jedi gift. I can't tell you what it is. Now, I'd like to invite all of our students back to the stage for a final photo. Please come back over. And while they're coming up, please don't forget to support the students on Possible. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Well done. Well done.